Volatility is back in the markets. If there's anything we know about cryptocurrencies, we know that the markets are volatile. What that means is that the prices are going up and down all the time. Now, of course, all markets do this. It doesn't matter if it's stocks, commodities, Forex, whatever. Nothing goes in a straight line. But these markets swing wildly. Everybody's looking for answers. Is it China? Is it regulators? Is it technical analysis? Why? Why is the price going down? People ask. Now, most of these people are those that haven't been in this game for very long. If you've been in it for 6 months or a year, you know this is just par for the course. The market swings wildly. As a matter of fact, it's gone down probably 50% at least 4 different times just in the last 12 months alone. So if you're new to the game, get used to it. This is the way it goes. Now, to really get an understanding of what's going on, we need to really take a step back. We need to get some perspective. Again, if you haven't been in this long, you haven't seen this, but you can understand this. So just pull up the chart. Look at the year to date. Look at the 1-year chart of Bitcoin. Look at the 1-year chart of the entire cryptocurrency space. So I'm going to talk about Bitcoin here because Bitcoin is half the market. It makes the market move, all right? So let's get a little bit of perspective. Everybody's freaking out. The sky is falling. Oh no, Bitcoin has dropped all the way down to $3,600. Let's get some perspective on that. Starting July 16th, we had a 45-day run. On July 16th, it was $1,900. In 45 days, it shot all the way up to $5,000. 45 days. That was a 163% gain in 45 days. Since that high of about 5,000, it's dropped 28%. 28% after a 163% gain. That shouldn't be a big surprise to anybody or anybody that's ever been investing. If you've invested in any kind of market, I don't care if you bought Facebook stock or Apple stock, if you traded currencies, commodities, whatever, after a 163% run up, you're gonna have a little breather. That's just the way it goes. People want to take profits. I wanted to take profits. I recommended that other people take profits. A 28% drop should not come as a surprise, right? So let's get some perspective on this. So it's dropped all the way down, all the way to 3,600, is all the way down to the price where it was on August 12th, 40 days ago. It's still 63% higher than where it was just 60 days ago. It's all the way down to 3,600. It's still more than 63% higher than it was 60 days ago. And it's almost 300% higher than it was in January. So you got to get some perspective on it. I get it if you bought it, at the peak at 5,000 and now it's been 3 weeks and you've seen your position lose 28%. I get it. I've been there. My positions have lost 28%. It's not a good feeling, but step back, get some perspective. It's still more than 63% up where it was 60 days ago. It's almost 300% up from the beginning of the year. Look at the charts, right? And that's just with Bitcoin. Let's look at the overall market. The overall market hasn't done quite as good. It's back to where we were on August 12th. And it's only 35% higher than it was 60 days ago. So not quite as good as Bitcoin for the overall market, but the overall market is up 600% from where it was in January. So for the year to date, the overall market is up much better than Bitcoin. And that's because there's been so many other altcoins added. Now, what's caused this volatility? Everybody's looking for an answer. To be honest, nobody's gonna be able to tell you exactly. Is it technical analysis? Did it run up too fast? Did people want to take profits? Is it taking a breather? Or is it the FUD? The FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. There's been all this bad news and press coming from China for the last couple weeks, and really that seemed to be what kicked it off, right? Was that, boom, 3 weeks ago, China's stopping all ICOs. Markets tumbled. But the markets bounced right back, and then China came out and said, oh, now we're gonna stop all Bitcoin exchanges. And then the market took another tumble, But think about this. If China feels threatened enough, if they feel the need to come out and ban Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a speck. Bitcoin is nothing. If they feel the need to come out and ban it, it means it's onto something good, right? It means this technology, they recognize this technology as something powerful. Now, China is not the powerhouse of the entire world. They're not the end-all be-all. As a matter of fact, they make up less than 10% of the trading globally for Bitcoin. So they're not going to stop it. So China's coming out, they're putting this bad news out, and it's definitely affected the markets. Then in the US, we have Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, one of the largest banks in the United States. He came out and he said Bitcoin is a fraud. He said it's a scam. He said anybody that works for JP Morgan that was trading Bitcoin would be fired. Are you kidding me? Why does he feel the need to come out and say this? The entire market cap of Bitcoin is like $50-60 billion, which sounds like a lot of money, but that's less than 10% of Facebook. Just one company, Facebook, it's a fraction of the size of one company. It's nothing compared to the trillions of dollars that are in the banking industry. It's a speck. Why would he come out and say that? Now, if he felt so compelled to protect you, to protect me, where was he when the whole banking crisis happened? Where was he warning us about what the banks were doing with our savings when they were risking it in these derivative markets, in this crazy, subprime housing? Where was he warning us then? That crisis wiped out the savings of every American, wiped out my savings. It crashed all the banks so much that the governments had to bail them out. And now Americans are paying for that. We're paying for that. Our taxes are paying for that. They made billions and billions of dollars, and we pick up the tab. But where was he warning us of that? That was billions and billions of dollars. Bitcoin is a speck. Why would he say that? And the answer is obvious. Well, it could be two answers. The obvious answer is he sees the threat. The more not so obvious answer is maybe one that you don't really like. Maybe that's more nefarious. Maybe he's playing into the news from China. They're purposely trying to drag the markets down. If you've been following me for any time, you know I've been talking about these hedge funds that are sitting on the sidelines. Literally billions and even trillions of dollars are ready to come in. The regulators in the US, the SEC, the options board, they've been changing the laws to allow these hedge funds to come in. When they come in, it's going to be hard, it's going to be fast, and they're coming in for the long run. So maybe they're looking for a good place, a good price point to get in on. Maybe that's a conspiracy theory, maybe not. But either way, when China's talking about it, when Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan's talking about it, I look at it as a good thing. This week we had former U.S. Treasury Bart Chilton came out. He was talking to CNBC, and he said that the markets need regulation because of this volatility. He said that he thinks that if they could regulate the market, they could keep it from going up and down. And I don't know if I believe that. Like I said, every market goes up and down. Pull up a chart of any tech stock, Microsoft, Amazon, whatever. None of them go up straight. They all go up and down. So he's not going to be able to curb the volatility. Part of that is because it's such a small market, right? You can't really move the market in any of the Fortune 500 companies, but you can easily move the market in these markets, as you can see from one press release from Jamie Dimon. Now, I don't believe government's the solution to anything. I believe government's the problem. Now, I think if given enough time, the free market could self-regulate itself. I think the ICOs are a serious problem, and I think the market could self-regulate itself if it was given time. But we don't have the time. So it looks like some regulation is necessary, and even though I don't believe it's the solution, I think it's going to help in the short term. So I think that may be a good thing, but they're not going to be able to stop it. Some regulation might be good. We're going to see this industry keep growing. There's a lot of signs that prove that. One is that you can see how resilient it is. No matter how bad this press comes, China's going to ban it all. The market still rebounds. One thing that we're seeing, and a lot of people have argued, is that what good is Bitcoin? You can't even really use it. Where can you spend it, right? So we haven't seen a lot of retailers start to adopt it. Sure, there's a number of websites that you can use it on. There's a number of places, and we're starting to see that every day. But we're starting to see that happen a lot faster. And one thing that's really going to help is that there's been a number of Visa and MasterCards being released that tie into your cryptocurrency accounts. So although we may be waiting on these retailers like Amazon to start taking Bitcoin, we can now get credit cards linked to our crypto accounts, and we can go spend those anywhere we want. You want to buy a brand new Tesla with your Bitcoin? Just put it onto one of your credit cards, walk in and swipe your card. Any transaction anywhere in the world, your travel, your online shopping, anything can be done, can be purchased with cryptocurrencies once it's linked to your card. So we're going to see a massive adoption rate happen with that, because now we don't have to wait for everybody to start accepting it. We can just use our Visa card. So it's going to go really, really fast. We have the Centra card, which Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, he's promoting. We have Monaco card. We have BitPay, which has been around for a long time. We're also starting to see a lot of high-end items starting to accept Bitcoin. So now lots of high-end real estate in Florida and New York and a lot in Europe as well is being sold through Bitcoin. We have one of the most high-profile high-end jewelry makers out of New York. All his jewelry, his diamonds, everything, his gold is available through Bitcoin. So we're going to start seeing a lot. However, it's not going to be a smooth ride. Like I've said many times, it's not going to go in a straight line. Nothing does. So we're going to see it go up and down. But this is going to be more so because of what it is. As we said, why did JP Morgan Chase come out and say this about Bitcoin? It's so small. Why would they even care? And the reason why is because they understand the threat that it has to the banking industry. All right, so it's a major threat, and they're not going to go down quietly. And so it's not going to be a smooth ride. So the trend is up, right? The adoption rate is up. More people are taking it. Lots of governments around the world, including Japan, the third largest economy, including Australia, including lots of smaller nations in Europe, have legalized it. It's completely recognized as legal tender, like any money. So they're taking it. Now, some countries can ban it, some can free it, but they can't stop it. It's going to continue to grow, but it's not going to be smooth. It's going to be a fight. But like I've told you before, it's a global trend. So a year ago in Britain, we had Brexit. The people rejected globalism. They wanted to get decentralization. They want to get their freedom back. Italy did the same thing. And I believe that Donald Trump being elected in the USA is the same thing. Rejecting the establishment, wanting decentralization. And part of that establishment is the banking sector. Everybody knows that. And so it's a global trend. It's happening. So in closing, I put my perspective out there and I hope you enjoyed it. If you like videos like this, if you want to get a different perspective, if you want to see the bigger picture so you don't get caught up in the FUD, just subscribe. We're going to be putting out a lot of videos, a lot of content like this. Go ahead and like it. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you like it. Go ahead and give us your comments, your questions. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And make sure you subscribe and tune in for the next one.